Here we are for another edition of Dallas Cowboys Training Camp Two-a-days in beautiful Oxnard, California. Bill Jones joined by the six-time Pro Bowler Nate Newton, who drove all the way out here to Oxnard. What was that drive like?
It was nice. I got up on Saturday morning around about 8, got out of the house about 10, drove to Demings, Arizona, which was about 8 or 9 hours, and got a room about 8, 9 at night, and then got up the next morning at 5:30 and drove on in here to beautiful Oxnard, California at 74 degrees when I pulled up.
And you've been a regular out here before. We're going to take a look, we'll look around. Here's the stands over there. Today happens to be a padded practice day. It's not like the old days, is it? This week, this is a heavy work week this week.
Yes, it is.
Mike McCarthy was talking about, oh, this is a huge work week because they've got a padded practice on Monday. They had another one on Tuesday, took off on Wednesday, back here on Thursday. Gonna have another padded practice.
Players are
Got to
sore.
take another day off on Friday, and then they got another padded practice on Saturday, which, by the way, you'll be able to see on TXA 21, 1 to 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon, Dallas time. It's not like the old days. It's not like a Jimmy Austin training camp, is it?
No, because we would open up on the very first day of camp. It was no such thing as getting in shape or running some conditioning. We did that back in Dallas. So when we got here, our first day of practice was 9 on 7. And we opened up with 9 on 7, full pass, everybody taped to the gills, and we get out there about 15 plays. First team got to do 7, second team do about 8.
Yep, and the temperature was a little different too.
Yes, the temperature was, we was in Austin, and it was beautiful at night, but during the day it was blazing.
Well, it got hot at night too, in different ways.
Yeah, yes it did. Yes it did. The back doors flew
stories
open.
are legendary. But really, I mean, you did two-a-days there. I mean, I remember covering those camps, and I was just a reporter on the sideline and barely made it through the camp. I don't know how players even made it through in that heat going two-a-days in Austin, Texas.
The human body and mind does what it has to do to make it work. And I mean, Jimmy had a way of just doing things and scaring you half to death and threatening your job and your whole livelihood. So you just ignored the sun and you ignored the humidity and you just made sure you was hydrated and did what you had to do. But it's a different world. And the good thing about it, Bill, is all 32 teams has to go similar to this platform. So it ain't like somebody's getting the advantage.
Well, and Daryl Johnson's talked about it. He said he'd get done with those, after being in camp, and he had more preseason games then too. And teams in '89, the starters were playing all the way through 4 quarters in the last preseason game. And he said that he would lose weight, okay, and by the time the season was started, he was so drained that it took some time even to build up his strength again once the regular season began.
It was all about the fluid. It was all about the right nutrition, depending on what position you play, because I came in overweight, so I always was working down. I was always working from, so Darryl would be in perfect shape, and then he would lose all of this.
So he couldn't afford to lose it.
And this. I was working from a fat. When you 30% fat, you have a lot to work on.
All right, let's talk about the big guys up front on the offensive line. Guy who's not here, Zach Martin. How much training camp does Zach Martin need?
A day.
1 day.
1 day. 1 day. Just get him in here, let him feel his 75 degrees and see what he really missed, all his good time, because he's back in Dallas in the house, scared to death to go out there in that heat. So come back here, just 1 day. Really,
so we are not, your prediction is we will not see Zach Martin in Oxnard, California.
Nah, we probably won't. But that week before we go the first game, we need him in camp. We really need him in camp. Just let him get his legs up under.
All right, so what are you seeing on that offensive line? You've seen 2 padded practices this week. What are you keeping your eye on as you watch practice today?
Just trying to make sure Steele is okay. A lot of people don't understand how our running game fell off when Steele went out, left us during that injury. So they're working him right. He's not on PUP, so he's getting a chance to work with the team, and that's a great thing. And to watch Tony Pollard still has his explosiveness. To watch him work is a great thing. And you're trying to look at some of these backup guys. TJ Bass has been playing at that right guard a lot, and I think he's really competing with Josh Ball at that right guard until my man Zach get back. And now we got the 2 new tackles are Velasco.
Yeah, Matt Willetsko.
Yeah, and the other guy, Idaga.
Yeah.
Idaga is struggling, but it's against Parsons. Everybody's struggling against Parsons, but he really had a bad day the other day. And he needs his yoga. He needs to get a little bit more flexible and a little bit more determination. And that's Idaga I'm talking about. Velasco, he just has to get into it. He got hurt last year. He just has to get the speed of the game and understand that he's playing against top-notch players and get a little bit more physical.
And if everyone stays healthy, what your offensive line is going to look like is Tyron Smith at left tackle.
Yes, sir.
Tyler Smith at left guard.
Yes, sir.
Tyler Biotish at center.
Yes.
As Nate puts it, the president. Zach Martin at right guard.
Yes, sir.
And Terrence Steele at right tackle.
And if that can stay healthy for a long period of time, this team will prosper. And we need these guys playing the last 7 games going into the playoffs, because I think this is the first time for me that I feel that we can win that second playoff game and get to the NFC Championship game. From there, I don't know. But I just think if we protect the ball and our offensive line play well, and some of the backups come to play this year, we need Foniak, is that pronounced?
Foniak.
We need him to play well. If he'll be the backup center and the backup right guard.
And the offensive line is so huge, and the health of the offensive line. When you look at the Philadelphia Eagles last year, there's so much talk about what a great season Jalen Hurts had, what their skill position guys did, Devontae Smith and those guys. But the biggest thing that happened for Philadelphia last year was their offensive line stayed healthy the entire season. Lane Johnson was dealing with a little something at the end of the season, but if you go down and look at the number of starts missed by their offensive line, it was very few last year for the Philadelphia Eagles. In contrast, a team like the Rams, who were the Super Bowl champions the year before, they lost everybody on their offensive. Yeah, and they were playing third-string guys.
Injury money and everything else.
Exactly. And so that the health of the offensive line, and it is a concern when you got Tyron Smith, who has not been able to play a full season.
Yes, and that is why our left tackle has to be right. That is why whoever plays that left tackle, and I'm hoping they don't throw Smith back out to the young boy. I just want to stay at one position. But if that's what they have to do, they have to do it. But that is my worry. I think once Steele get into the rhythm and get going, he'll be okay. Once the butcher or the president or whatever you want to call Zach
players
Martin,
calling him the butcher, and
Nate called him the president.
Nate's been calling him the president for years.
Yes.
Tyler Smith, who's now in his second year out of North Crowley High School in Tulsa. Of course, last year he works all off-season, all training camp at guard, and then Tyron Smith gets hurt 10 days before the first game, and they wind up playing Tyler Smith at left tackle, and he played the whole year at left tackle. Now he's back at left guard. What do you think long-term for him is his best position in the NFL?
Bill, to be honest with you, I thought I knew. It just depended on who our offensive line coach is and what he thinks. If Coach Solari thinks that he's the left guard, he's the left guard, but I don't know. I thought I knew. Yeah. To me, he looks to be a better left tackle. But as long as Tyron Smith is here, and I think as long as Mr. Jones is here, Tyron Smith will be the left tackle.
And you want to get your best 5 out there.
You need your best 5. If they can play multiple positions, you need your best 5. But if you don't, like Steele is a right tackle.
Yep.
If you take him out of right tackle, he's not a part of your best 5. You can't put him at left tackle. He's not going to survive a left guard. He is a right tackle, and that's all he'll ever be.
That's what he's played his whole life.
Yes.
Yeah. And finally, Mike Solari is the new offensive line coach. Solari has been around so long that he was actually an assistant coach on Tom Landry's staff when Nate Newton was a Dallas Cowboy.
He was hanging out with Moses.
That's going way back.
Yeah, he hanging out a long time, man.
All right. Enjoy. You're out here the whole time, huh?
Yes, sir. All the way to the 18th.
Yep. And then you make your drive.
What is
back to
a fish?
Yeah.
It's a flower. Oh, I thought it was a bug. You know, you go fishing, a little flower. So
what do you think of the whole? I'm going to give them a look around. Move up just a little bit here.
Yeah, man. Look at
the stands over there.
The suites and all of that, man.
And then how about this over here?
Yeah.
You got these suites over here are really sweet.
I'm going to tell you something.
You need to get up there to watch practice because you can really see things.
Tell you what, start saving today so you can be here next year.
And you
it's not cheap.
And you like, though, the end zone look because you can see the offensive line. As long as you aren't on a practice field, you got.
Well, my seat is right there. See, go right there.
Okay.
My seat is right there. See that right there?
Yeah.
That little opening. I get those good chairs.
Okay.
And I sit right there because this day they'll be on this field.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. That does it for this Dallas Cowboys training camp two-a-day. By the way, 8 o'clock tonight. Cowboys Uncut. That does it from Oxnard, California. For Nate Newton, I'm Bill Jones, and we'll see you next time.